This is Q47 to Glendale Atlas Park Mall. This stop is LaGuardia Terminal A, Marine Air Terminal. Transfers available to Q48 and M60 SBS. Next stop, Marine Air Terminal Road and Fiorello Lane. Transfer available to Q48. Next stop, Ditmars Boulevard and Grand Central Parkway. Transfer available to Q69. Next stop, 82nd Street and Astoria Boulevard. Transfer available to Q19. Next stop, 80th Street and Astoria Boulevard. Transfers available to Q19 and Q69. Next stop, 80th Street and 25th Avenue. Next stop, Bulova Corporate Center. Next stop, 78th Street and 25th Avenue. Next stop, 77th Street and 30th Avenue. Next stop, 31st Avenue and 77th Street. Next stop, 31st Avenue and 75th Street. Next stop, 73rd Street, 31st Avenue. Next stop, 73rd Street and 32nd Avenue. Next stop, 73rd Street and Northern Boulevard. Transfer available to Q66. Next stop, 73rd Street and 34th Avenue. Next stop, 35th Avenue and 73rd Street. Next stop, 75th Street and 37th Avenue. Transfer available to Q49. Next stop, Broadway and Roosevelt Avenue. Transfer available to the 7, E, F, M and R trains, Q32, Q33, Q49, Q53 SBS and Q70 SBS. Next stop, Roosevelt Avenue and 72nd Street. Transfer available to Q32. Next stop, 69th Street and Roosevelt Avenue. Transfers available to the 7 train and Q32. Next stop, 69th Street and Woodside Avenue. Next stop, 69th Street and Queens Boulevard. Transfer available to Q60. Next stop, 69th Street and 48th Avenue. Next stop, 69th Street and 50th Avenue. Next stop, Calamus Avenue and 69th Place. Next stop, Calamus Avenue and 71st Street. Next stop, Calamus Avenue and 74th Street. Next stop, 79th Street and Calamus Avenue. Next stop, 79th Street and Ankener Avenue. Next stop, 79th Street and Grand Avenue. Transfer available to Q58 and Q59. Next stop, 80th Street and Grand Avenue. Next stop, 80th Street and 54th Avenue. Next stop, 80th Street and 57th Avenue. Next stop, 80th Street and 58th Avenue. Next stop, 80th Street and Elliott Avenue. Transfer available to Q38. Next stop, 80th Street and Juniper Boulevard. Next stop, 80th Street and Penelope Avenue. Transfer available to Q38. Next stop, 80th Street and Furmanville Avenue. Next stop, 80th Street and Juniper Valley Road. Transfer available to Q29. Next stop, 80th Street and Metropolitan Avenue. Transfer available to Q54. Next stop, 80th Street and 68th Road. Next stop, Cooper Avenue and 81st Street. This is Q47 to Glendale Atlas Mall. This is Q47 to Glendale Myrtle Avenue. Next stop, 80th Street and 77th Road. Next stop, 80th Street and 78th Road. Next stop, 80th Street and Myrtle Avenue. Transfer available to Q55. Next stop, 81st Street and Myrtle Avenue. Transfers available to Q29 and Q55. This is Q47 to Glendale Myrtle Avenue.